The truth doesn't make noise. The truth is always silent. And the truth doesn't need to prove itself. And just keeping that theory in mind, I would not justify anything. I never went on record to say anything about myself. And for me, it's just like I take it in through here, take it out through here. Because why would I lose my sleep on something that's not true? I know what my truth is. The people who matter know what my truth is.
Yeah.
Always maintain a very respectful distance, which is why I don't have friends nor enemies in this industry. Enemies I don't know. Maybe I do, but people making passes at me. But when you see a girl or guy you desire, I mean, men go through it as well. It's not
Sure.
new. But I've had people making passes at me, if that's your question. But not to the extent where I couldn't take care of it.
Talk about rumors. There'll be a lot of rumors of you saying that
Loads of them.
he's done substances, he's not unruly.
Yeah, that was the funniest rumor I heard about myself.
That you remember what the entire thing where you were apparently doing drugs and you were irresponsible in sets and you had attitude.
I mean, there have been so many other serious films that have dealt with extramarital affairs and got away with it. There are films on extramarital affairs, no? So every other Hindi film is about an affair or a triangle. Neeraj and Priyanji called me. I went to Sun and Sand and they were narrating Hungama to me. I couldn't understand the script.
There were rumors of you moving away and taking that break.
That's all a perception. People would often wonder where I am, and they would also, when they used to see me in the film, and they should say, "Is that you in this film and that film?" I should say, "No, it's my twin brother." I should always lie about it because
really how interesting.
Literally, because I should get annoyed. I was like, "वो मेरा भाई है," you know, and that used to be my only escaping route from all of this attention.
Hello everybody, I'm Rajwani and welcome to Spotlight Sessions podcast. ये वही podcast है जहाँ हम अपने favorite celebrities को बुलाते हैं. We celebrate their journeys, the lives that they lead, the authentic selves and so much more. Today my guest is someone who has always done things his own way. He made a space for himself in this very competitive industry, and today he's back to doing what he loves doing the best, making people laugh. I'm talking about Aftab Shivdasani. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
But baat to sahi hai? Isn't that your favorite thing to do, to put a smile on people's faces?
I think if you are blessed if you can do that, and I hope I can do that. I hope I'm successful in doing that.
I think your story is also a story of resilience. You came, from outside to make a space for yourself here, which a lot of people try to do in this industry. So there you are. I hope they're all listening and they learn something from it.
I hope so.
तो शुरुआत से शुरुआत करते हैं.
जी.
For a lot of people, and a small reminder to those who probably won't know about how it all started for you. Let's go there.
My story was I was a child actor, which has got absolutely no relevance to what I do today. The only relevance it had in my life is that it gave me exposure to the film camera. मैंने 6 या 7 फिल्में की as a child actor, starting from Mr. India, 1987, Shahenshah, CID, Chalbaz, Aval Number, 100 Crore, Insaniyat, 7 films. That was all through my schooling years. Now, through my schooling years, when I did this extracurricular activity, which was very out of the box, because that time there were not too many child actors, and full credit to my mum who allowed me to do this.
जी.
उसी दौरान मुझे एहसास हो गया कि I want to become an actor because it's something I feel very comfortable doing. And then I did my colleging, I did a lot of commercials, I did about 300 odd commercials while growing up, TV ads. And when Ram Gopal Verma ji was casting for Masti, he came across the Coca-Cola ad that I did in 1997 or 8. And then he saw it and he was casting for Masti. And then he called somebody who knew my number and called me on the landline, which then existed, and asked me to come and meet him for Masti. I met him. We hit it off. He didn't take an audition. He just spoke to me literally for about half an hour. And we had a very lovely, positive conversation. And when I asked him, I said, "What's this for?" He said, "It's for a film opposite Urmila Mantondkar, who was, just the biggest star at that point of time." And it was a dream come true because I was playing a 19-year-old who's infatuated with a big film star. And I couldn't be more fortunate because it was literally tailor-made for a guy like me who was 19 and a half, 20. And then Must happened. Then I didn't look back. It's been 26 years. So I'm very grateful and very fortunate that I got this opportunity. And 26 years and counting and still here.
जब आप पर्दे के सामने, you're on screen as a young boy, whose movies that you mentioned are not small films. They were popular films. And you get that recognition. How do you deal with what's coming your way? People recognizing you, still trying to be normal. And how are you processing all of that when you look back at it?
I see, honestly, I didn't know what hit me when I was 20. I was getting all this attention and this whole adulation. Honestly, I did not know how to handle it. I remember someone in Ramaji's office telling me that, when the promos hit, you will see what it means. And for me, because until the communication of Must came out, which means songs, promos, dialogue, whatever, at that point in time, there was only satellite communication. There was no social media. So everything was on TV. So when people watch it on TV, and we used to have so many music channels at that point in time, MTV, Channel V, blah, blah, blah. They said, then you'll see how people just start recognizing you. And then they started coming out. And then I saw this entire paradigm shift as to people recognizing me and coming up to me and asking me for an autograph. There were no camera phones at that point of time, thankfully. And I used to sign autographs and I used to wonder what's so special. But then it slowly started sinking in that this is the adulation, this is the love. And okay, they view you very differently now. You're no longer just a normal South Bombay guy who's just trying to navigate his way through life. And this is an inkling of how it's going to be in days to come, depending on where you reach. And then I started seeing more and more and more. So it took me a while to process, but I just didn't know. I didn't know how to handle it. And I still don't know how to handle it. It's not like I know how to handle it.
आफ्ताब, ये तो हो गई जब आप 20 साल के थे
जी,
पर आपने एक लेवल का फेम तब देखा जब आप एक पॉपुलर चाइल्ड एक्टर थे. जैसे कि मैंने कहा, जो आप मूवीज की बात कर रहे थे, दे वर वेरी पॉपुलर फिल्म्स, राइट? तो उसके थ्रू भी आप इतने बड़े बड़े एक्टर्स के साथ काम कर रहे हो. लाइक आई सेड, yes, you're from a South Bombay boy, and I'm sure you come from privilege that way.
Not really, but yeah, I come from a middle class background. Privilege is a word it's a very extreme word, but yes, I was thankful that I had meals on the table, I had a roof above my head.
We'll talk a little more on that as well.
Sure.
But what I meant to say is that, but it's still daunting, क्योंकि ये दुनिया तो आपकी दुनिया से अलग थी ना.
बिल्कुल, it was north and south.
I want to understand, how was it then? You were going, of course, you were doing this and you were going back to school and you were doing that.
Sure, yep.
And for that young boy, how does it change the mind of someone who's tried to live his life that way?
Well, from what I remember, I used to enjoy being in front of the camera. I used to enjoy being on the sets of Mr. India. I used to enjoy acting. And you won't believe it, I never did a single play or dramatics in school. Zero, nothing. I was never attracted to stage, never attracted to any sort of that kind of thing in school. It's only film cameras. It just, I don't know what brought out some magic. It just helped me just express myself. And then of course I would have to adjust in such a way where my mom used to go to class and pick up the homework and I used to study on the sets. I used to do my homework on the sets and I used to spend a lot of time away from class. So that was obviously tough for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old boy, because you're on the thick of education. And then obviously my friends would wonder where I am, and sometimes either you take a sick long leave or you don't take a leave to go and shoot a movie when you're 7 years old, right? That's very, very, unheard of. But yeah, I managed it, I did it, I enjoyed it. And people would often wonder where I am, and they would also, when they used to see me in the film and they used to say, is that you in this film and that film? I used to say, no, it's my twin brother. I used to always lie about it because
really how interesting.
Literally, because I used to get annoyed. I was like, wo mera bhai hai. And that used to be my only escaping route from all of this attention. But I mean, school is school. You know how peer pressure is, how all of that is at that point in time. But I enjoyed it. At the same time, I always kept a low key because, I mean, by default, I'm an introvert. So I prefer quiet than noise.
You say that, but it also shows what a detached approach you had to the life that you were leading.
I still do.
Which I was going to come to that. Which of course you continued even in later stages.
Yes.
पर आफ्ताब, उसके बाद आपने बस की बात की, पर मुझे लगता है, again, a lot of people might assume that it's easy for child actors to get.
It's very difficult.
So I want to come to that. वो transition, ठीक है, आपने वो किया, and then I've spoken to a few child actors who say that the feeling that they will not like you as much when you grow up is real. कि आपको लगता है
could be.
कि मतलब पता नहीं यार, like they
You're not
should
so
like
cute anymore.
yeah, I hear a lot of them say that, right?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but maybe could
But
be. You might
really,
be right.
like you look different. You not just looks. I feel like personality. Like they kind of like that little personality. Will you be able to connect to people again, and will you be as good an actor?
Sure. No, absolutely. You're spot on because you see, you can't be the same forever. You will grow up to either be really likable or very annoying. One of the two. So I think, and like I said in the beginning of the interview, I said, see, that's got no connection with you being a lead actor, independent lead, as in an adult. Me being a child actor, I had no responsibility of the film on my shoulders. I'm just a child actor. But when you're a lead actor and you're the hero, traditional hero of a film, the responsibility level is very high. You actually shoulder the entire responsibility of the film on yourself. So there you're accountable in every way. As a child actor, you're not that accountable. But yes, did that translate to me becoming lead actor? No. Because like I said, it's only through my commercials that Ramoji saw me and casted me for Must. And then of course, Must, like you said, was a big film. It got a lot of eyeballs. It was a massive launch, opposite Urmila and a massive Ram Gopal Varma film. After Satya and...
He was big.
yeah, he was big as in he was... After
Massive.
Rangila, Satya, I mean, Ram Gopal Varma was a legend, a cult.
Yeah.
So anyway, but then it didn't translate into that. And then I got lucky because I got Must and then never looked back since. But it's not easy. It's not easy being a child actor. See, at that point of time, in the 80s, today with social media, everybody's a star online. Every kid has got a dance reel or some photo shoot or something that they've done and they've tagged A, B, and C. I mean, you can tag anybody from the Prime Minister of the country to the President of America or, to any massive Hollywood star, it doesn't matter. There we had no access. There you only get known through your work. What they've seen you in this film, they saw me in Mr. Ness, so they casted me for Shahinshah. They saw me in Shahinshah, they casted me for Insaniyat. Because I played Junior Mr. Bachchan in Shahinshah. I played Junior Mr. Bachchan in Insaniyat. So everybody knows it was a small industry. So that's how work used to happen. Now everyone's a star first on social media and then everybody just knows you. So that era was very different, I would say. Now child actors, or let's just say, I can't say child actors, but children have got phones in their hand from the age of 7, 8 and they're on social media making reels and tagging you, which I think generationally we've gone a bit on the decline, haven't we?
Interesting point of view. But Aftab, मुझे ये जानना है कि you just mentioned, right, कि आपकी upbringing middle class थी.
जी.
Your parents were from middle class family. From people from middle class family look at world in a very simple, in their own way.
Sure.
And for them, this is very different. How did they react to your transition? I heard when you said, thankfully my mother allowed me.
Yes.
Allowed is the right word in middle class.
No, I think she always was a fan of Hindi films. So in a way, she loved it. My dad was a bit indifferent. I would say, he's the more practical in terms of his approach. My mother is more emotional. So she loved it. And if it wasn't for her going and taking notes in my classroom, I don't think I would have passed. That's one.
Mothers are heroes, aren't they?
Totally. They're everything. And, just for me to do this, see, this is not normal for any 7, 8-year-old to do something like this.
Of course.
Yeah, you can play sports, you can do this, but acting in films with an Anil Kapoor or a Sridevi or a Mr. Bachchan, at that point in time, who would imagine in the 80s? So of course, it was like a very unheard of thing. But yeah, I mean, full credit to them. They enjoyed it, they liked it, but they never got carried away by it. I don't think we're the kind of people to get carried away by it. We would accept it for what it is, like a normal middle class family, and then just see where it takes us one step at a time.
Post that is when your journey truly begins, right? Post the debut. क्योंकि
Sure, yeah,
उसके
yeah.
बाद आप कितना टिके रहे हो, किस तरह की फिल्में आप कर रहे हो is also
Correct.
as important.
Absolutely.
What happened? Do you think there was a perception that got built, or do you think people were looking at you in a non-judgmental way, and you were getting their opportunities, or was reality very, very different because it's difficult. You still remain an outsider, and the struggle is so much more.
Yes, you do remain an outsider. You will always be an outsider because I didn't have a film family attached to my name. I mean, I'm the first of my entire massive family that's ever been into films. Perception, yes, because I was this cute boy next door, chocolate hero type who was in love with a film actor. And there were direct comparisons to Notting Hill, because you're in love with the film actor. But there the age gap wasn't this. This is an age gap. Obviously, she's supposed to be older. Not much older, but yeah, a couple of years older. So that comparison was there. But in terms of perception, yes, because of the mold of my physical personality and because of the role that I did in Mast, there was a bit of typecasting. But very quickly changed when I did Kasoor, which was my second film. And I remember I had done a stage show in Delhi, must release in October. December, I met Vikram Bhatt on a flight. We both had gone for the award ceremony. And he was sitting in front of me and I just tapped him. I said, hi, my name is Aftab. He said, yeah, of course, I know you, this, that. And when you're sitting behind somebody on a flight, it's very difficult to have a long conversation. One is to bend over and talk. So we spoke and we were very civil and nice and friendly. And then I get a call from Mukesh Bhatt's office shortly after, and they wanted to meet me regarding a film with Vikram Bhatt. So I said, okay, great. Put two and two together, and then I met them at the office and they offered me Kasoor. And that was the brainchild of Bhatt Saab, Mahesh Bhatt, Mukesh ji and Vikram. To cast a boy who's just come out of Mast as a cold-blooded murderer in Kasoor. And that was their conviction. In fact, when I heard the script, I thought they were narrating it to me for some other character. And I said, great. And I said, so who's going to play this? They said, you. I couldn't. I said, what? I said, me. He said, yeah. I said, how do you see me in this part? I mean, look at me. They said, no, if we couldn't imagine you doing this part, we wouldn't have called you here. And that kind of instilled a lot of confidence in me. And I said, okay, I'm on. Then, of course, I started thinking very differently. And Shekhar Saxena now is kind of, everybody's playlist as well. So, Kasoor happened. And then I quickly broke the stereotype. I quickly broke the typecast, which was also a conscious effort. I'm glad that Kasoor happened to me. I'm glad they thought I was able enough to portray Shekhar Saxena, and with full support from Vikram. And then Kasoor turned out the way it did, with the music and everything else. And I won awards for that film. Best negative after a film like Mast. And I was 21. So I guess that also told a lot of people that this guy is not just a pretty looking face. He might be able to act as well.
It's interesting because I was reading theories about what happened to Aftab Shivdasani. There was, we would have liked to see
Apparently,
him
I
more.
heard he died. No, I'm serious. I heard someone said he's dead. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
What?
Yeah. Someone sent me a link on some YouTube that
When was this?
not very long ago. that it might still be there. There's a video of me dead.
I'm going to go and check it out.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, apparently that YouTube channel kills everybody. so it's just one of those things for views. But anyway, yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, absolutely. It was a fun anecdote.
Yeah.
पर मुझे लगता है कि और मैं जब पढ़ रही थी आपके बारे में, I was just seeing, I wanted to see different forums what they, and they were very interesting. They said, he was quite good in this Kasoor, and a lot of them said that. So it's interesting that you said, because what you wanted to do, कि to be taken seriously, कि मुझे और मौका तो दो कि मैं दिखा सकूं, did happen with Kasoor. Because a lot of them even today keep mentioning that.
I mean, it's wherever I go, people, one of the first films of mine in my filmography they mention is Kasoor. Like it's incredible that from 2002 to end of 25, like almost 24 years. 26 February will make it 24 years to that film, and it's still so fresh. People still have it on their playlist. And I mean, that's why we're synonymous with the film. So it's a film that I think is just lasted in everybody's hearts. Everyone's got it imprinted.
Like you rightly said, in the playlist for sure.
Yeah,
some
100%.
really good songs.
Even mine, yeah.
No, 100%. You have been through the grind. You also had to go and ask people, give you a chance, and
Of course.
You've done the knocking at the door, and you've also been tried to be taken advantage of, and you've had people tell you weird things. Tell me, how did you kind of go through that entire experience where people were inappropriate with you and were trying to ask you something?
I don't think they were inappropriate. I don't think people would be as warm.
Did you go through a casting couch experience?
No, never went through a casting couch. To that extent, I may have people making passes at me. But when you see a girl or guy you desire, I mean, men go through it as well. It's not
Sure.
new. But I've had people making passes at me, if that's your question. But not to the extent where I couldn't take care of it.
Not to the extent that you do this and I'll give you work. That didn't happen.
No. It wasn't said in so many words, but I mean, you're smart enough. This is samajhna wale ko to ishara kafi. It's one of those
They
things.
meant it that way, but not
Yeah. And those people are still around, so it's really funny. No, but having said that, I think one would just try and navigate himself or herself through what his or her available options are. And luckily for me, Ramuji kept on working with me. Boniji worked with me, Ramesh Toraniji worked with me, Rajiv Rai sir worked with me, Induji worked with me, Feroz Bhai worked with me. So I had a lot of films that were A-list. So nobody really dared to take advantage of me in that respect, because I wasn't doing B-grade films. I was doing only A-list films. And then what happens is that people will not try and do something that's a little fishy or shady with you, because now you've got an imprint in the film industry. What the films do eventually is subsequent, but at least at that point of time, there's perception that we don't want to. And also, I was a bit detached. I'd never really. I was never too over familiar with anybody, because that's not my personality. Unless I really like the person, then I'll express myself. But otherwise, I've always maintained a very respectful distance, which is why I don't have friends nor enemies in this industry. Enemies I don't know. Maybe I do, but
You do, but you're also doing your own thing, which is very difficult for someone who's from outside. बहुत सारे, like you name people from different industries and they belong to different camps per se.
Yep.
But you kind of didn't belong to any, and that can
No,
be.
I didn't belong.
How
to
did you navigate through all of that as someone who wasn't there?
I didn't have an agenda. I didn't have a strategy. I didn't have a roadmap. I just was nice to everybody. And of course, if they, we have to meet and bond and chat, of course I would. But I'm not the kind of person you'll find in everybody's house day in and day out. Chalo, just let's hang. Yeah, if there's something to hang about, we'd hang. But I'm not the clingy type who needs company all the time. I need my space, and I respect other people's space as well. So that's how I've always led my life, and including till today. And I think, so I know everybody. I'm good with everybody. I don't have one single person whom I've had a bad experience with. And I think this has worked for me. And this was not a strategy that I had in place. It just happened by default. And it's worked so far.
But I think the film that kind of broke your heart kind of made you take a step back. Is that how it is? When you wanted to do a particular film that didn't work, when was the time where you wanted to kind of step back and take that break?
Never.
Never?
Never.
So how did that happen?
I love what I do. I would never ever take a step back from this profession. I love it too much. I love what I do. And that's what keeps me going. And however long the wait is, I would keep that patience intact because of the passion that I have for what I do.
There were rumors of you moving away and taking that break.
That's all a perception.
So what was really happening? Which is so interesting because we get to hear your real...
No, look...
Was 2014 is the time, I'm assuming?
No, I think it was earlier. It was...
Even earlier?
Even earlier. Of course, the work started thinning out, but I was doing stuff periodically. It's not like I was not doing stuff. In fact, one of my favorite films, 1920, happened in 2011.
Yeah.
I had never done a horror film before. I'd done a Darna Mana Hai, but it was not a horror film.
Which, by the way, I love. I want to tell you, Darna Mana Hai.
Me too. And it just worked. I do think Ramuji was ahead of the curve at that point in time. And the fact that he thought of 10 short stories, and just bizarre stories dealing with the supernatural or the paranormal. And it worked. So 1920 happened. That was my full-fledged horror film. The first of its kind. And it worked. People liked it. And today, people talk about it in my filmography as well. Right up there. And so do I. I have utmost respect for that film. Then, of course, there was immediately followed up with Grand Masti, which was the most outrageous of all the Mastis in 2013. And that hit a century. That did 100 crores. Then there was the Kya Kool Hai Hum and the Great Grand Masti, which were again adult comedies. And then I did a film called Setters, where I played a cop on the education system, the corruption in the education system. So I have always tried to do diverse things. But sometimes what happens, the film doesn't work. Then a lot of the onus lies upon the actor. And then obviously people start rethinking their strategies about casting you in certain things. But that's been a pattern all my career. So it doesn't bother me. I just try and maneuver myself with where it's going.
So that absence was not
Was not intentional.
Was not intentional.
Never.
It just happened because were you not happy with the kind of work you were getting?
Absolutely. And even till very recently, I would never do something where I'm not excited, because I have worked really hard to maintain a brand, to make a brand. It's 26 years. And so anything that's not of that stature or standard, I would not indulge in.
It's interesting, Aftab, you said this, because I think बाहर ये perception है, आप stories देखेंगे इसके बारे में, that he went into depression, that is why he left. He was building his life, he went away, and you've also spent a little bit of your life in London and all of that.
Sure.
Right? This was what the world was talking about.
Correct.
And I don't think, and you were also, like you rightly said, very detached. You didn't want to give anybody an explanation of what you want to do and all of that. So what was happening when all this changes? Because, of course, you got married and then, the decision of staying.
No, I mean, look, like I said, the pause was never intentional. If I got 10 films in a year which I'm excited, I'll do all 10. That's for sure, because I love what I do. But the only explanation which I can give you, which is just the truth, is that if something exciting comes my way, by all means I will do it. I don't like to take breaks. I'm the kind of guy who's been working since I was 7 years old. So for me, when I'm not working, obviously I miss it. I don't do anything else. I can't do anything else. I love to work. I love to be at work. Like, I'm happiest on a film set. That's what keeps me alive. That's what keeps me, of course, besides my family, but that's a separate section of my life. But my work is what keeps me ignited. So yes, if there is something that's exciting, by all means I will do it. If it's not happening, then I'm willing to wait. And that's what happened. And so when you wait and people don't hear or see about you, then they start making stories up. And it's fine. People need to make stories. Let them make stories.
You've gone through that throughout your life at different stages,
everywhere.
Right?
Now, whether I did it or I didn't do it, people will still say I did it. So then I stopped fighting.
Do you think the fact that you were young, you were making your own space, even at the time, like, when we talk about rumors, there'll be a lot of rumors of you saying that,
Loads of them.
He's done substances, he's not unruly.
That was the funniest rumor I heard about myself.
That, you remember what the entire thing was, where you were apparently doing drugs and you were irresponsible in sets and you had attitude. Correct. Now, these are rumors that at some point or the other, especially about an actors growing up, you get to hear.
Sure.
I'm assuming, also because you're from outside, they're assuming that this is a lot for you to handle and this and that. But I think I want to know what your opinion was for someone like that to still stay secure amongst all of this, ki nahi attitude hai set pe, he was not disciplined, he's also going through this phase where he's doing substances and all of that. How did you calm yourself down and continue to do what you had to do?
See, I learned something very early in life. The truth doesn't make noise. The truth is always silent. And the truth doesn't need to prove itself. And just keeping that theory in mind, I would not justify anything. I never went on record to say anything about myself. And for me, it's just like I take it in through here, take it out through here. Because why would I lose my sleep on something that's not true? I know what my truth is. The people who matter know what my truth is.
Sure.
Like I said, whether I do it or not, people, if they want to believe that I've done it, they will believe I've done it, regardless of me shouting from rooftop and say, Bhaiya, maine nahi kiya. Anything, whatever I've done. Whether it's attitude or anything else in the sets. I think if I threw attitude on the sets, I wouldn't be here in this industry because this industry is very unforgiving. That's one. Second of all, I had loads of enemies. I would have loads of people talking badly about me. Loads. And I mean, thankfully, I think I've garnered a reputation of people may not like me, but they don't hate me because they don't know me enough. And that's something that I've consciously maintained.
Who would you say were your friends even back then and even now? Or some you've maintained to even have? Like, kind of, I'm talking about friends.
No, like I'm
not
saying,
just people on sets who you've met and gone.
No, see, I don't have too many friends in the film industry. Okay? Barring a Rahul Dev. Rahul Dev and I have kept in touch since 2001. Like, he's one of my closest friends. But we never really talk that much. We talk like once in a couple of months. But the equation is set.
Why is that, Aftab?
Because of work schedules. Like I can chat with him at any time zone if he's in
Not
anywhere.
just him, otherwise with others. Why do you think that happened? Like, was a conscious choice to kind of keep your world separate from what you were building?
No. It's just because that's the way the industry is. That's the workplace. That's the culture of the workplace. See, it's very difficult for me. Like, for example, me, Riteish and Vivek are so bonded when we're on the sets, right? I mean, everyone will be witness and testimony to that.
Yeah. And Vivek's...
But we all are doing individual stuff as well. So it's very difficult to maintain that same consistency outside of the film set.
But you would call them friends, right? Like, you would keep in touch.
Yeah, but we have a WhatsApp group. We chat here and there. If there's, obviously to meet up is very difficult because of our schedule. So that's the only reason why one would not have consistent communication with people, not for any other personal reason. And I'm good with everybody, and so that's just the way things have been by default. Again, no roadmap, no strategy.
The comedy turn that took for you was very interesting. Different kinds of comedy.
Yep.
We'll come to all kinds. I really enjoyed Hungama.
Yep.
And I thought it was so interesting. It gave you an opportunity to show all kinds of
Yep.
emotions and everything. And how did you look at Hungama? And then post that, of course, the Masti series and how you came to that.
So actually, my comedy tryst started with Mast. Nobody realized, but Neeraj Vora ji was there when I was doing Mast. The entire Hyderabad portion, before he meets Urmila's character, was in a cafe. He works in a cafe, and Rajpal Yadav was also there in the film, and a lot of other brilliant actors, including Neeraj ji. The first comedy twist of my life happened over there, which if you go back into the film now, it's very cute between the camaraderie between
Yes.
all of us. We're all working as waiters. Then the next twist happened with Love Ke Liye Kuch Bhi Karega with Aslam Bhai. So Hungama and all came much later.
Yeah,
Aslam Bhai track worked.
correct.
But that was Johnny Bai's magic, and with Inivas, we had a fantastic camaraderie, and the magic with Johnny Bai, Aslam Bhai, the whole track worked. The character played. Then came Awara Paagal Deewana
Yeah,
before Hungama.
yeah,
Awara Paagal Deewana was 2002, again the brainchild of Neeraj Vora. Even Hungama was the brainchild of Neeraj Vora, because he was just his type of comedy was unparalleled, untouched. Like he's just, there can never be another Neeraj Vora. And I remember that when Neeraj ji and Priyan ji called me, I went to Sun and Sand and they were narrating Hungama to me. I couldn't understand the script. There were so many tracks. I had to literally say, sir, can I just borrow a pen and a paper? And I started making notes on the screenplay in front of them. I couldn't understand it.
Multiple.
There were so many tracks, and I was like, sir, I'm a little confused. Then, of course, I made my notes. I said, sir, I definitely want to work with you. That's Priyansa. And then we worked on it. And that was just, Priyansa is brilliant at comedy. He just knows the pulse of, what he wants from the shot. And he's never too rehearsed. The maximum takes you'll do with Priyadarshan is 2. If you do 2, you're very lucky. Maximum will be 1. So he's that kind of a director. And in fact, the iconic scene that people keep talking about, Tere ho gaya, tu wala tere ho gaya, that is one take. One take. There is no second take. That's the genius. We did rehearsals. But that's just with Priyan and with Neeraj sir. One take, and that's exactly what's retained in the film. So that's the magic that Hungama would create. Now, what is happening on Akshay's track or what's happening in Paris, I had no idea. Because my track was separate. And the way they interwove it through the script is the magic of the writing. Rest is history.
But rest is history for sure. The reason I said Hungama is not because of the nomenclature or the कौन से sequence में आता है, is because I genuinely thought you got an opportunity to perform there.
Yeah, sure. No,
And it was
lovely.
very interesting for me to see that in rest as well. But again, Awara Paagal Deewana, there is that chemistry that Akshay, you and Paresh ji
Suniel,
managed to make in different films, and with Suniel. They always talk about Suniel, Akshay
Hera
and
Pheri.
Paresh ji, but I think the fourth to that was also you.
Well, I'm grateful that we actually experienced firsthand in Awara Paagal Deewana.
I want you to tell me those stories, and I also want to know how amazing it must have been to create such authentic comedic moments on screen with people like Akshay and
They are
Paresh.
just amazing. I mean, I was working with them until today with Welcome, and nothing's changed. I mean, the chemistry, the timing is intact. In fact, it's even better because obviously we've evolved a lot over the past 20-25 years. And my first day of shoot for APD was the scene between Paresh ji and Johnny Bai, the Chota Chhatri scene. That was my first day.
Oh, really?
And I was stuck between these two stalwarts who had this impeccable timing. If you look at it closely, I'm almost laughing in a few takes, and you can't see it because I'm holding my stuff together. Because I can see everybody from the corner of my eye, from Feroz Bhai to Neeraj Bhai to Vikram, all laughing and all their shoulders going like this in the corner. And because Paresh and Johnny are just, it doesn't get better than that, right?
Sure.
I was just thrown into the deep end with these two. And I had to really hold my wits together and not laugh. And so many takes I burst out laughing. And they went on about their business like, chalo, what are you laughing? I'm still going on in my take. So when you're straight away at that level of comedy, but you have to match up to that timing, which is perhaps world-class timing. It wasn't easy. But then obviously with they were so amazing. They made me feel so comfortable and so welcoming that, with no pun intended, but it was really fun to work with that set of people. And then we all bonded. We shot in America, we shot in Oman. It was great. That film was great.
अब जब 2 बार जिक्र हो ही गई है वेलकम की, तो बात कर ही लेते हैं ना. You are in this installment of Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, being welcomed back.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. There's a lot of news about putting that massive cast together, which has like Raveena,
Everybody.
Akshay, like literally
you pick out
everybody.
the phone directory of the film industry, it's all there.
It's there. That one group picture is everything.
Yeah.
But you've been shooting, like you said.
Yes.
It like, and I literally said, welcome back again to
Thank
this
you.
world. Tell me how it has been on the sets to meet the people that you've known for.
It's been a circus. Because everybody who's on the set, I've worked in some film or the other. It's like...
All of them, no?
All of them. Mostly all of them. I mean, barring Disha and barring Jacqueline, I don't think I've worked with them.
Yeah.
Raveena I know from before because when we were doing ad films. And Lara I worked in Masti. So everybody I worked with, whether it's Rajpal, Johnny Bhai, Anna, Akshay Paji, Paresh Bhai, everybody, Paresh ji, it's like coming back home. So the chemistry is intact, the madness is different. It's like that. It's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure. And you're constantly laughing even on that set.
अब तो ये वाली कॉमेडी हो गई, अब ये वाली कॉमेडी पे है. हाँ, मस्ती की कुछ बातें करते हैं. मस्ती did get you a lot of love when the first Masti was released. It was, at that time there were people doing horror, whoever thought it was horror, but the ones who really enjoyed it were really happy.
Yeah. It's got its audience.
It found its audience in a little bit. But when you were doing it, okay, for the first time when you were doing that, a film like that, which is an adult comedy, which is something that you are kind of venturing to, I want to know different reactions that you had to it when you were on that set, your family and everybody around you, because they all have very interesting versions if you discuss work with them.
Family had no reaction. I mean,
I like how he's like...
Family, my mom and dad were chilled. I mean, my dad is like, what is this rubbish you're doing? It's like that. He's not filming.
Detached he
Yeah,
is?
he's detached. He's on another level. He likes the more serious films that I do. He doesn't like the comedy films too much. My mom likes anything I do because I'm her son.
Cute.
But it was interesting because also the birth of a fantastic relationship between me, Riteish and Vivek. We bonded a lot on that film. And Riteish was not the CM's son then. He was just a guy I played cricket against in South Bombay because he's from South Bombay, I was from South Bombay. So we played a lot of cricket. We had a lot of cricket competitiveness between us. With Vivek, I had met him when he was shooting for Company his first day because Ramoji had called me to the set, so I met Vivek then. So it was a very interesting mix of three people who were getting together for a one-of-its-kind adult comedy which had never been done before. Of course, we had seen the American Pie series and we took a bit of inspiration from that because Hollywood has done it. Let's see how we can Indianize it, keeping our cultural tastes in mind. And there were a lot of scenes that were, of course, a little risque, what you say.
Jokes too,
but I think all that credit should go to the director, Induji, because he had the conviction. And it's very important for a director to instill that conviction in the actor, because if the director doesn't have that conviction, if there's any doubt in the director's head, it'll trickle onto the actor. But if the director is certain about what he wants, which he was, all we had to do is just take that blueprint and put it on film. So, Induji, I'm just going to copy you. And that's exactly what I did. And he's such an incredible actor, let me tell you that. His timing is again unmatched. Indra Kumar's timing is unmatched. So we followed his blueprint and then Masti was made.
When you're doing a film like this for the first time, and then we'll continue how eventually you evolved with this as well. If there are certain things that you thought you as a person might not find appropriate, were you having that discussion? I want to know. Was there ever a discussion where you thought, this is really below the belt? Maybe I can't carry, this is not me. And just an honest question. And then we'll of course come to how that has been today. Do you have those honest discussions saying, ye sahi hai, par ye... Does that happen?
No, see, I mean, that does happen. At that point of time, there were a couple of things that we said, how is this going to turn out to be? It can go either way, right? It can look really vulgar or it can look funny.
Correct.
So we made a conscious effort to make it look funny and not vulgar. Because there's a very thin line between making it funny and making it vulgar. And that is at your discretion as an actor. You'll know if I do this expression with the same dialogue, it can look vulgar. But if I do this expression with the same dialogue, it can look funny. So we made a conscious effort, all of us, that we're going to make it look funny. And there were a lot of scenes that were, if on paper, if you read it, it's very explicit. But it doesn't look as vulgar when you project
Toned it down.
Yeah. No, you just make it look funny.
Make it look funny.
And that's what we did, and that's how we project.
There is no doubt that there's a lot of people who wait for movies like this. They find it funny. They go out which is why it's a franchise today, right? Franchise कब बनता है? Franchise तब बनती है जब लोग चाहते हैं कि ऐसी और फिल्में बने. And we are sitting at fourth.
Yep.
But there is also the other side that things that has been, things like cheating has been normalized, and they feel like, is it too much? Like, are we here? But you've always dealt with this in every film and stuck to what you believe in, saying that this...
Yeah, right from Masti 1. That we're objectifying women.
Yeah.
We're promoting extramarital affairs. But I mean, what is the premise of the film? Three men want to go and have fun outside, but they fall flat. And they come back homely to their wives, and the wives teach them a lesson. Right? That was the premise. We were never trying to preach. We were not trying to say, you got to do this. We were saying it's for entertainment. We're not trying to oversensitize. We're not trying to send
discussions and conversations.
It's not that. I mean, there have been so many other serious films that have dealt with extramarital affairs and got away with it. There are films on extramarital affairs, no? So every other Hindi film is about an affair or a triangle. That nobody talks about because it's a film, serious film. But the moment we're going to the Masti space, a big hullabaloo is made out of it. So it's for entertainment. It's just for a couple of laughs.
Masti 4 brings up the concept of love visa.
Correct.
Right? All of you are back.
That's the premise of this film.
That's the premise of Masti 4. What do you think about love visa in real life? I would like to know.
I don't think. I don't think about it.
Let's hear it.
No, I mean, of course, I'm too happy in a marriage to even think about something like that. Touch wood. But no, I mean, we're not trying to advocate that either. Yeah. This is again a film for entertainment purposes. Yes, the premise is a love visa that a
lot of men fantasize about, clearly.
I'm sure they do. Not that they get it.
That's
but true. They probably still pay the price of it. But it's purely for fun and purely for a few laughs. In fact, you will be surprised that there's a massive twist, which I will not say on camera.
Sure.
But you'll see on 21st of November.
And we can see a lot of your old friends coming in, from Tushar to the
Arshad, Tushar, Shad, Nishant. I mean,
everyone's coming in.
It's a stellar cast. It's a mad cast, and it's got mad gags. Like, you'll see it. And
so you're saying because post the trailer you all did get comments about this is this it and all of that. So you think people should wait and watch the film, right?
Yeah, I think the film is way funnier. Way funnier. So don't judge this book by its cover. I would tell you that.
Fair.
It's perhaps, in my opinion, the funniest out of all the 4 Mastis.
Really?
Yeah. I've gone on record.
Better than Masti 4 because people still...
Masti 4 is coming out, I'm saying.
No, better than Masti is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Really?
100%. Yeah. It's funnier, I said. It's funnier than Masti, all the 3 Mastis.
Interesting you said that. Can you also tell me that how, now that you're here back to this world, how do you perceive the way it has changed, Aftab? From the time that you were very actively involved in it. Today it gives me wonderful joy to see you telling that, you have Welcome Gilly shoot kar rahe the and there's Masti 4 on the release. But how do you look at your own evolution and also how this industry has evolved? Do you think the problems that you face still are existing?
I think there are more pressures today with the advent of social media. We didn't have social media at that point in time. It came, I think, after 2010-11. So a lot of newer generational people have this added pressure on social media, which we didn't have. We were known purely for our work and for our films. For them, it's like, oh, how many followers do they have, or how many views do they get, or how many likes do they get? I don't come from that generation. I come from a generation that you're appreciated for what people see on celluloid. And I still stick to that. Like, social media doesn't get under my skin at all.
You said, of course, we all know you're happily married. Was it difficult to find love when you're popular, when you're in this industry? Because you've managed to do it all. You created your own world. You protected it fiercely as well.
I still do.
And you still do. You see the madness of everybody following everyone there and being on socials and, paps.
Yep.
But you've actually very successfully managed to create like a peaceful world with your child and with your wife and everything.
Yes.
How did you manage to do that successfully? And also when they say, is it difficult to find true love in a place like this, they keep saying, right? Where it's so much of fame, there's so much of adulation. What is true? What is real? How do you differentiate? What are the pointers that you observe from your own life?
I'll start with the second question first.
Okay.
You don't find true love. It finds you.
Ah.
That's one. It happens to you when you least expect it. That's the one-line answer. So don't go searching for something. The more you search, the more it will elude you. Yeah, that's bottom line. Second thing, how do I insulate myself from all of this? It's just a conscious effort. Because this is not a new technique in my life. I've been private all my life.
Yeah.
I've guarded my family and the privacy of my family from day one. I was never at everybody's parties, getting smashed, getting drunk, doing all these things just to get into somebody's film. I would never do that. I still don't do that. Yes, I have friends, I know everybody, and I have a good equation with everybody from the top to the bottom. But I never use those equations. I always let my work speak. If people think that I'm talented enough, people, they like me, they'll work with me. That's the way I view it. But yes, I guard the privacy of my family with my life. And I make whatever necessary logistical changes in my life I need to make to guard that. Now, there's a whole long list of things I don't do, which I can't say here because
But some
we'll need
important
another
ones?
episode for that.
But few major ones maybe.
Social media is abstaining from social media is a big thing because I can't keep documenting my life like the way everybody else does.
I don't think there are any pictures of you, hardly anything with you when you're not too many.
No, my family, there will never be.
Yeah.
My wife perhaps, but my daughter, no, never.
No, not of your children.
Never will be either. Because I want to keep my family away from this circus.
Is it why living there was, when they were...
No, that was not a conscious effort either. That happened because of COVID.
Yeah.
We delivered her in the UK because my wife is a British citizen. But we wanted to come back after 6 months, but then COVID struck and the world shut down. So we didn't know what was going to happen. And then we extended our stay, and we enjoyed it, and it was fun. But I kept going back and forth every 6 weeks. So that was difficult.
And romantic.
And nice.
I think that's why...
You get to live the best of both worlds.
That's the reason of a successful marriage, I guess.
You got to guard it. You have to guard it. Because people will spoil it at the drop of a hat.
It's really lovely that you said that, because I think the way you lived your life has been testament to the fact that you haven't changed from the time that you were there or even now, whether the world has changed around you. If I have to tell you a few films that changed you though, working on a few films, few co-actors, we've spoken about male co-actors, even female co-actors add a lot to your career, right? When you work with them, you've had such interesting chemistries. Tell me a few that really, that you remember from films and the films that changed you.
I think Kasoor, Must. Masti with Urmila, of course, was like a great learning curve because again, she was a massive film star. I was literally exited out of college, young boy. Working with that kind of aura was, fantastic. I mean, she was great in everything. Dancing, expressing, even her comic timing. She's a great actor, Then with Lisa and Kasoor, Lisa was new like me. I just one film old. So we kind of on the same page. And also there was this really nice unspoken space between us, which is also a deliberate attempt on my part, where there had to be a little bit of mystery element. We didn't get too over-friendly because sometimes as actors, you need to keep that magic alive in front of the camera. And the work that it takes is that you deliberately keep a distance with your co-star.
Interesting.
That's a fact. And that happens with every co-star, not only female, even with male co-stars, and that's just good because that helps for the film. Then I'm trying to think of the other. I never looked at it like the female co-star is something that is going to make the film or made me or change my life or anything like that.
No, but I think, chemistry building is a big deal in our industry, which is why I mentioned while you have great chemistry with your bros, I think that you also created wonderful chemistries with the female lead. It also comes from an understanding.
I would always try and be cordial, try and be supportive to somebody who's new. Because when I was new, Urmila supported me a lot. With Lisa was just one film old. With everybody, like I've done 3 or 4 films with Amisha, and we both was from South Bombay.
Yeah.
Her family knows my family. We had CCI Club in common. So that equation was already set because we know each other from before we became actors. So that helped a lot because we did Suno Sasurji, we did Kya Ye Pyar Hai, we did Ankahi. 3 films we did. So I shared great equations with them, and I think there's this sense of comfort as well when you know somebody from the past. Luckily I never really had a bad run-in with anybody for that matter.
Which is good. Good luck. On that note, thank you so much for doing this. Letting you end it by if you tell me, is there a misconception that the world has about you that if you'd like to state, make it straight, you would like to do it?
No.
No?
I have never justified anything.
Okay.
I've always let my work speak for itself. I'm just very grateful for people who believed in me and people who say, if we don't see you enough, we want to see more of you. I'm just grateful to those people, and I can only say I work for you, to entertain you, to put a smile on your face. and I will always strive to do that. That's it.
Wonderful, wonderful way to end it. Thank you so much, Aftab. Thank you for your honesty.
Pleasure.
And like I truly said, there's a lot of things we need to learn from your life.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm just being honest.
Absolutely. Thank you, and we are cheering for you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Rudrani.